leads me to kindling. I want to say that everyone's life is different, no matter your age, everyone's life is different. And the mind of a person who is neurodivergent, which is like 15% of people my age, the youth, and I don't know a percent of adults, but that's a huge sum of people in this world. That's a huge sum of people in this world that are neurodivergent, meaning our brain is the way it is chronically wired is so much different from a neurotypical, or the way your brain is supposed to work. And it looks different for many people depending on what you have, whether you've inherited it, or it's a trauma response, or whatever, or you're born with it, that it affects your brain. And the way it affects your brain can look different in many, many, many ways across many different types of people. I have ADHD, and there were earlier signs of that as a kid, and definitely so. I was born with it. That's one thing. So yeah, just alone, ADHD is hard to live with. And it looks different for people, depending on who you are. But pretty much I wanted to say that growing up neurodivergent is hard, okay? It is hard to live with. It is rough. And in my personal experience, it is especially hard because most days I have stuff that I would love to do, and yet my own brain, the emotional pain I have inside hurts so much across my entire body. It hurts me physically, which it shouldn't, but it does, to the point where I don't even want to get out of bed in the morning, let alone wake up. So, me trying to write a book, and maybe I don't work on it for 2 days at a time, and then I just try to write what I can, but I feel drained most days, so I don't even do anything at all. And so I have days where I just lay in my bed, like today. That was one of those days. Honestly, at least I did something. I didn't take my own life, okay? I woke up, which is something that I am learning is a good thing to do, because most days, let's be honest, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to be alive, for so many reasons. And it's not because of something I can control. I can't just think positive. I can't switch my brain off, okay? This is a chronic lifestyle. This is a chronic chemical imbalance in my brain that I have to deal with. And it affects me to the point where, I don't even want to get out of bed anymore. But, so it's something that I am having to learn to do, is loving myself and loving every nook and cranny of me, loving every bit about me. Growing up, pretty much a mentality that I've been in for the past 7+ years at this point has been, what is there to like about me? What the fuck is there to like about me? I am so messed up, I can't possibly have anything to love, or even let alone like, about myself. And so, in the last 2 months, I am just now learning how to undo that mentality. And it is so hard because, still there are some days, and the past couple of days have been some of those days, where I haven't even been able to want to get out of bed in the morning. and it's tiring just thinking of all the things that I want to try to do, and I want to have the energy to do it, but I can't. And I just keep feeling like I'm stuck in a hole because of the doom and gloom that I have inside of my own soul because of who I am. Because of the fact that I am neurodivergent, and I will be for the rest of my life, and it affects me this much, and so I will have to deal with this on my own for the rest of my life. And I want to find a husband, and I want to marry one and be happy together, but I don't want to feel I'm emotionally available, yes, but I don't want to bring someone into my life and probably have to, put them through me. I feel like I would have to put them through me, and that would just hurt them, because they wouldn't even know how to handle a person with ADHD and the mental problems I have. And the mental problems I have, I feel so much doom and gloom around them because I inherited them from my mother and my father's side. And my mother inherited it from her mother, my father inherited it from his father. So yeah, it just trickles down my family line, because now me and all my siblings are all, every single last one of us, are all neurodivergent in some way or another, and it's much more than just, I'm quirky. And it's taken me so long to try to be able to feel like I can even try to now change my mind to now be like, well, hey, yes, I'm quirky, but I'm also me, and who am I without my quirkiness? And the reason why is because, for most of my damn life, I have wanted not to be quirky. I wanted to just be normal. I wanted to, have my life be as normal as it is in the movies that I watched growing up. Or at least as normal as those movies appear, Like, the teen guy gets the girl and he's happy and no life struggles whatsoever other than whatever nonsense. But no, I am neurodivergent. My brain does not work the same way yours does. Or maybe it does if you're watching this and you're a fellow neurodivergent. And I have been dealing with this since I was born, and I will have to deal with this until the day I die. And that is why, for most of my life, I have wanted not to even wake up in the morning and get out of bed, because I wanted not to have to deal with such with myself. I don't want to deal with being me most days anymore. And so, for most of my life, I've just wanted to not even exist. And when I thought I found someone, my best friend, when I fell in love with him, and that is how I discovered that, hey, I am gay, and you know what, that's okay. When I fell in love with him, well, that's not exactly how I discovered I was gay, but that's when I felt like, it's time I come out, and it's okay to be this way. When I felt like I finally found someone, let's just say it didn't go great, and I don't like talking about it, and it still hurts sometimes, and I can't stop thinking about it, and about how I shoved my own feelings down in order to try to make other people happy, because I thought that my feelings, and have felt like this way for many, many years, that my feelings are too emotional to be feelings. I'm making this post, so if any of you guys relate to this, it is true, you're not alone, okay? Because so many other people feel the same way you do, and have to feel their emotions so deeply and so intensely as you do. So yeah, you're not alone. But I get how it still sucks to have to deal with it at all. And maybe, I am working on a novel right now. I'm somewhat of a novelist, or a writer, whatever you want to call it. And really like writing my book, and I can't wait to finish it. I hope to finish it by my birthday in like 76 days from now. However, it still hurts trying to get up out of my bed most days, and I have felt this way for many years because, to be honest, for most of my life growing up, I have felt that there's nothing to like about myself. There's nothing to like, nor let alone love about myself, because I am neurodivergent, I am gay, and my family issues, my own issues, and the fact that my emotions are too emotional to just be the normal emotions that a normal person goes through, and so I spiral. And being neurodivergent, having your brain chemistry not work the way that it's supposed to can be kind of sucky. The reason why sometimes I don't know all of what to say is because sometimes, I just lose track of the words, though I have so much I want to say. So sorry if I don't get everything across as smoothly as I would like, but if you are willing to take the time and watch this video, I hope it's worth it, because, at least I am trying to get on here and make a message that can hopefully help other people not feel alone in their own struggle of neurodivergency. And, or I guess you could say I'm just a good neurodivergent, because I am one. I guess so, right? But, yeah. But at least I hope you don't feel so alone anymore. Or at least I hope you feel like seen, because I see you, okay? I have scars on my arms, okay? So if you have scars on your arms because you've hated yourself most of your life for being neurodivergent and being the way you are, look, I get it. And I see you. But please put the blade down. Please put it down, okay? And look, the last time I cut myself was maybe 2.5 weeks ago. Was the last time I cut myself. It's a very sensitive topic, but very true, because, well, I didn't want to be alive. And to be honest, when I was cutting myself, yeah, it was to help myself feel numb so I didn't have to feel as much as I did. However, I also wanted to end my life, and I wish that some of the times that I cut myself, that it would go so deep that I just died. And some days that's how I feel. I don't cut myself, but I feel like, I don't want to be alive. And I feel like if I tried to meet someone, that I would have to push them away because, hey, look, I'm messed up, I'm mentally ill. I don't think you'd be happy having to deal with someone like me, because look, some days I don't want to get out of bed and I don't have the energy to do anything at all. And well, you may get in the comments and say, hey, well, the answer to that is just date another neurodivergent person. And that sounds nice, but there's problems with that, because both of you may not even want to get out of bed in the morning. And the reason how I'm able to talk about all of this so knowingly of my feelings is because, well, I've had to sit with them for 18 years almost, so I think I should know them, I guess. But even if you're old, you may not know. Even if you're in your 30s or 20s, you may have not been diagnosed with ADHD or any thing yet, but you still feel so just compiled in your brain so differently, and so, but you feel like your life has been swallowed away because you haven't had that diagnosis, and so you've just been wandering for so many years before your diagnosis. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal like how everyone else is? What is my problem? And it is not good to think that way. It's not. But if you do, okay, and this is one thing that I'm learning how to do currently myself right now. I'm learning to love myself. But loving yourself doesn't mean cutting off the edges of your brokenness. It doesn't mean cutting off, like, slicing it open, because pretty much what I'm trying to say. It doesn't mean trying to take away your brokenness and love yourself and just now decompress and now let it all be happy and let it all be gone. No. Okay, no. Real love and loving yourself is not an easy step. Okay? Especially when you've hated yourself for so many more reasons than you have to get out of bed in the morning for most of your life. And you've had to deal with that most of your life. Yeah, loving yourself is hard to do. But it's something that I am working on by hugging myself. Let's say hugging myself, because I'm learning, I am having to learn, like probably most of you are having to learn now yourself, that hey, I may not like myself, but loving myself is so important because I want to be here and my life is worth living because I get to be myself. My life will be worth living because, hey, I get to be my own self, and I want to grow into myself. I want to be fully me. I want to happily be myself, living my life the way I want to. And yet that is something so hard to even try to do, but it's something so important. And loving yourself is hugging yourself because, well, for most of your life, right, you cut yourself. Look at it this way, for most of your life, you cut yourself. Maybe not physically, but maybe emotionally and mentally, because the way you look at yourself in the mirror every day, you see yourself the way you are and you despise it. You wish you could shatter the mirror and then take the glass and cut it across your arm. And that's not so very fun, but it's what you feel like doing. It's what you fantasize about doing when you grow up hating yourself so much. So loving yourself is so very important and crucial to try to learn and grow into doing and practicing every day, because now with that you can learn to just happily live your life the way you want to. And on the days that you feel like a mess up, you comfort yourself by telling yourself, hey, look, maybe I don't have the energy to get out of bed today or tomorrow, but what you can do and what I am learning to do is sit with myself. And that is the most important thing I feel like anyone can do, is sit with themselves. Instead of just running away, trying to do drugs, cut yourself, or die, or go manic. What is crucial that you do is that you just sit with yourself and sit with your own emotions. It's not such an easy thing to do, especially when your emotions are so out of whack, so out of whack all the time, right? But it's important to do because It is. It's important to try to do because loving yourself gives you the freedom to be yourself after years of constricting yourself by the hatred that you have given yourself just because of who you are. That is the most well put together sentence in this entire video, but it's a great sentence, and I hope that reaches in your soul. It helps me too. And look, I see you, and I love you. I care so much about you, even if I have no idea who you are, and you have no idea who I am. But I care about you, and I see you. Maybe you've hated yourself, but it's important to unlearn that. You know, one thing that I've always hated about myself, especially since I started making videos, you know, I've realized that, you know, my face has this thing, and like my cheek is lifted this way or something, I don't know. And, you know, so yeah, I'm not very confident a person. I'm not a very confident person, but I just try to focus on making the message and getting it through. Otherwise I'll break down crying or so many things about myself and why I hate myself. But you know, I'm learning to love myself, and that is the most important thing anyone can do by sitting with themselves, is loving themselves. Okay? I hope this video helps. It's a long one. It's my first long YouTube video that I'll post on YouTube. First one of me being myself, that is, my true authentic self, at least, trying to be. But yes, so, but yeah, I seriously hope that this video has helped you. If it has, then I am so grateful for that, or at least that it has made you feel less alone, because, you know, you're not, because, hey, I see you, I know exactly what you're going through, because I go through the same exact thing almost every single day. Every single day, I do go through it every single day of my life, and I've been going through it every single day of my life for 18 years, and will have to for the rest of my life. So, and you know, one important thing to remember is, I don't know how long the life that I'm going to live, but for most of my life, for most of my adolescence, I wanted to take my life prematurely, and I am just learning now, within the last 2 months, by myself, I am learning to not want to do that, or have the urges of doing that much less sleep. Though some days it is still hard. That is very true. But look, I care about you. I see you. I love you. Please stick around. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. And what are we going to tell ourselves when it gets hard? Well, we don't have to tell ourselves anything. We just have to sit with ourselves. Okay, and that can be a very hard thing to do, especially when you hate yourself so much that you don't even want to be yourself. But you know, one thing that is so hard but so important to learn, and I don't quite know exactly how to tell you how to do that, is to learn to hug yourself. Hug everything about you. Hug your flaws, your imperfections, your brain chemistry, your neurodivergency, because you know what? It's a part of what makes you, you. And I am so glad that you are you, and I want you to stick around and not take your life, okay? Please. Okay. I love you. I'll see you guys next video. Bye-bye.